Welcome back to our video series about rafting in the former Soviet Union. This is a series of films that Vlad had made from his trips in the 80s and 90s of doing expeditions throughout Siberia. And my good friend Vladimir Gavrilov is here to join us and tell us more about these trips. Today we're going to do the Kaa-Khem River, talk about the Kaa-Khem. Vlad, what do you want to tell us about the Kaa-Khem?
Kaa-Khem is classic of Russian rafting. This river first was run about 60 years ago, and still it is very popular. It is not very difficult, not very tough river. Majority of rapids are class 2 and 3, but it's a bunch of other things on the river and around river that attract people again and again. I would compare it with Middle Fork salmon in Idaho. Somewhere they're very similar.
Cool. Yeah, and I just want to point out the first 2 minutes of this video are just different clips from rivers throughout the Soviet Union. So this is not the Kaa-Khem. These are other rivers that we'll talk about on other trips. The Kaa-Khem is one that I got to do with Vlad. I think we did it 10 years ago, if I remember right, Vlad. He took me out there.
As I remember, it was 2012.
2012, yeah, just about 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, we got to do it together. It was the only trip I've done in Siberia, so I know a little bit about this one. And the most interesting thing to me is always how you guys got to the river. It's super fascinating. I know for us, we started in the United States and then flew to Moscow, and then flew from Moscow to Abakan in Siberia, and from Abakan took a 6-hour car ride to Kizil. Kizil is the geographic center of Asia. There's nowhere further from the ocean in the world than Kizil, from an ocean. And then from Kizil, we took a 2-day bumpy dirt road ride in the back of a military truck to get to here, which is the put-in for the Kaa-Khem. It was a long trip. Vlad, how did you guys get to the put-in on this trip?
In '86, it was much easier because you could get a flight from Kizil. It was relatively inexpensive on a nice, probably 15-seater Czech airplane L410. And it was not long flight, only 1.5 hour instead of, like you told, 2-day bumpy ride in the trunk of military truck. Now, unfortunately, it is not available. Therefore, you either have to pay pretty big amount of money for helicopter, or find the same way like we did, this huge military truck, because very few normal vehicles can go along this dirt road.
Yeah, it was a long trip in to get there for sure, but really beautiful. It was really cool to see the countryside in Siberia. We learned a lot along the way, and actually one of the most fascinating things was seeing prayer flags that were left by Buddhists in that part of the country. We were so close to the Mongolian border. There was certainly some sort of influence from the Mongolians. So anyway, here we are on the river. Is that a 2-person hardshell kayak, Vlad?
No, it is again folding kayak.
Okay.
That's guys from different group. I don't know them. They just passed us.
Okay.
But again, it's folding kayak, 2-person kayak. They made it themselves.
So one of the coolest parts about the Kaa-Khem are the fish. What are the different fish they find there?
Yeah, it is really good river for fishermen. Of course, traditionally for Cyan rivers, a lot of grayling, some rainbow trout, In Russia, we call it lenok. And if you are lucky enough, you can get even timing like we did in 2012. And around you can see and you can find a lot of berries, cedar nuts, mushrooms. All of these make this river especially enjoyable.
What's a taimen, Vlad?
What do you mean?
Like what do you want to explain what a time? Yeah, the fish.
Oh, taimen is a family of salmonoids. It's totally fresh water. Could be huge. I read that sometimes it can reach weight of 50, even 70 kilos,
Wow.
and size like 6 feet long.
Wow.
And good thing about fishing there that in difference than from majority of American rivers that you can eat this fish.
Yeah.
And you eat it.
Yeah, I remember we ate a lot of fish. We caught a lot of fish.
Yeah.
And at night, the Russians we were with would eat the smaller ones raw with the vodka.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way to cut wood.
Fresh, salty grayling.
Yeah.
It's very tender, and you can eat it salty in 1-2 hours after you caught it.
Yeah, it was pretty raw though, right? It was totally raw.
Yeah. But you see, you still alive.
No, I didn't, Vlad. I didn't try it though. I just watched them try it. I'm not going to eat raw fish in the wilderness. So this is a really interesting part. The Russian sauna. Do you want to describe the sauna, Vlad?
Yeah. In each trip, when you are in taiga, you have enough wood. We do sauna.
The interesting thing, Vlad, are those like that brush or those branches that you guys use to smack each other when you're in there. Why do you do that?
Birch, and it's kind of masochism. You beat your friends with this venik, how Russians call it, this bunch of twigs, and it is really good massage and great tradition. I don't know, is it originally Russian tradition? It came from Finland, but
I've never heard of it before. It was a surprise to me to get hit with a stick.
But you have to accept that it was a lot of fun.
It was fun. It was fun, but I was surprised, and I'm half Finnish, so I should know what that kind of thing is like.
You have to return to your roots.
So what rapids are these at right now?
This is one of rapids of Melzeyski Cascade. This is the biggest cascade of rapids, about 30 of them, mostly class 2 and 3. Some of them in big water, pretty fun rapids, but generally not very complex.
Yeah. What are these two-person boats they're in?
This is a pretty unusual boat. It's a two-person cat of Latvian design, when paddlers sitting like in two-person kayak, and they're working with kayak paddles. These cats are not very popular in Russia. Mostly two-person cat when people sit parallel to each other on different tubes right now, and work with canoe paddle. But in Latvia, they are still popular. They are not so stable like cats when people sit on different tubes.
Well, Vlad, that was the end of the Kaa-Khem. I think the next river, that looks like Lake Baikal.
Yes.
So
in next film, we will go to region of Russia that we call Zabaikalia or Pribaikalia, and it's some pretty good rivers there. We'll go to rivers Haramurin and Snezhnaya.
oh, it looks like you didn't get horses this time, so you had to hike all the stuff on your back.
Yes, unfortunately, no horses this time.
Cool. Well, I look forward to the next one. Vlad, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.
Okay.